Grace Randolph, the YouTuber behind the channel Beyond the Trailer, which has almost 1 million subscribers, has gone beyond the pale, with many calling for her to apologize after she may have outed a private health concern of a major celebrity. Now, people are denying it, fighting over it, and we're here to break down whether or not Grace should break down and say she's really, really sorry. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we as ever endeavor to dive into what is going on in the halls of Hollyweird. Explaining entertainment, keeping you ahead of the culture curve is what we do. And folks, what we do, we believe to be important. Otherwise, we would not spend a lifetime on it. And we are dedicated to doing just what we're doing, which is diving into that which makes the culture. As we do, we ask that you click the like button. And here is a look, as you can see, at Beyond the Trailer, starring Grace Randolph. She's the host, she's the creator, she's been around forever. She's got 7.7 thousand videos, so 7,700 videos on it, and almost 1 million subscribers. She's one of the YouTube originales. And, part of the business of what people do on YouTube oftentimes puts them into controversy. And typically, I don't like to cover YouTube drama, because when you cover YouTube drama, what you're doing is you're covering those who cover the news. And that gets into a meta issue. But the problem I have here today is that Grace has done something that goes beyond what's typical. And there's also a quandary about it. So I'm going to break this down, and in the hopes that by doing this, we can all elevate. All right, thatparkplace.com has the article. This is not the only article we're going to be on. Outrage erupts after Grace Randolph hints Matt Reeves may have health issues close to Chadwick Boseman's situation. All right, so there's Grace. Grace says, she is facing intense backlash online after invoking the late Chadwick Boseman. Of course, that he's the star of Black Panther, who passed away from cancer at a, what would you say? It's a calamitous age for him to have passed away at. It is so sad. And it's so sad in so many ways. And so it says that while discussing circumstances surrounding filmmaker Matt Reeves, leading to accusations of recklessness and inappropriate behavior. I'm going to get into why in just a moment. Here's what she said. I'm not going to play the clip because I'm somewhat concerned about trying to play anything regarding this. And folks, if you could be critical of me and say, Pro, you shouldn't even read it then because, well, I've waited 3 days. The whole story's out there. So Grace says, if you knew what Matt Reeves was dealing with, you'd just leave him alone, as I'm going to do. Which is the opposite, by the way. that's by invoking him and his whatever he's going through, that's the opposite of what you're doing. You literally just did the opposite in the same statement you said you're not going to. He says, it's not a Chadwick Boseman situation, but it's close. And I hope it doesn't turn into that. You should leave Matt Reeves alone. The cryptic nature of her statement, combined with the direct comparison to Boseman, who privately battled cancer before his passing in 2020, immediately drew criticism from fans and creators. Bo DeMaio says, disgusting. Does she have any idea of what she could trigger him to do? Knowingly reporting on someone's personal mental health struggles, knowing it will only exacerbate and put that person at serious risk, is criminal. And the epitome of those who can't do gab. And listen, I don't think that, I don't think it's a mental thing. But I'm not far away from agreeing with Bo DeMaio. But I'm fully in agreement with the Daily Kryptonian. And I mean fully in agreement with this assessment. It says, this is beyond inappropriate. Do better. Matt Reeves has a freaking family that may not know. If you're telling the truth, then you're exposing this is the lowest thing you have done, and I didn't know you could go lower than what you've done before. Now, I'm not going to castigate Grace Randolph. I'm not here to tell you to hate her, to unsubscribe to her, to demonize her, none of that. But if you take someone who has a serious undisclosed health concern and you disclose it, you are potentially wreaking immense trauma on their family members who may not know, and their friends. And you're doing that in a way that that person did not ask you to do. And that is awful. So we might think of some of the celebrities in the past who have passed away, and they passed away without anybody knowing that they had the disease, or at least very, very few people, right? So you might think about, for example, Paul Rubens. Pee-wee passed away, and basically nobody knew that he had cancer, and that was his decision. You might think about Norm Macdonald, who for years and years was battling cancer and did not want that to be known in the public. He wanted to live his life. He wanted people to treat him. He wanted people to treat him normally. So Norm chose not to talk about it. And he chose up until his last days to continue making jokes and posting jokes online and going and talking with people and being funny. And in hindsight, you can probably tell that he was going through serious health issues. But at the time, he did his best to hide it. People get that prerogative. People get to choose that. So this is why this is such a weird video for me to do, is because Grace has done something that is so far out of the norm for somebody to do that I struggle to even, this is not the typical video. This is not the typical rage bait kind of thing where somebody comes out and says something nasty about a celebrity or they leak something that's untrue. This is like causing trauma, potentially, to somebody's family. So when this first came out, I didn't want to touch it because I feel so bad about it. And then it gets worse, though. Well, let's go to this. And again, I didn't touch it for days. I didn't touch it over the weekend. And why did I not touch it? Because it's gross. I'm going to come back, though, to Grace in just a moment. Here is from Jordan Ruemy out of World of Real. It says, no, Matt Reeves is not in a Chadwick Boseman situation. So here's what he says about it. It says, I can't believe I'm even writing this, but I've received a bunch of emails and messages concerning this story, and it's now spreading like wildfire all over the internet. In a video posted on Thursday afternoon, the infamous Grace Randolph weighed in on the reason why Matt Reeves has been taking so long to submit his Batman Part 2 script to Warner Brothers. We've already read it. This is what Ruemy has to say. Randolph's cryptic statement comparing Reeves' situation to the late Chadwick Boseman, who passed away, has resulted in YouTube being chock full of videos saying that he's dying. And what you'll notice, I have not done, and I'm not going to do that. Because that's so far. Like, listen, folks, if that's what you want to do to get views, you have at it. I'm out. I am not going to, we are not going to run articles or stories about unconfirmed health issues that could be traumatizing. I mean, these people have children. These people have kids. They have spouses. They have parents. If you need views that bad, you're in the wrong business. If causing pain to others at that kind of level is okay. And by the way, I don't know which YouTube channels did that. I have no idea. I'm not trying to create beef with anybody. We so rarely do this kind of a video, but it needs to be addressed. It says the situation Reeves is in has been well known around the industry. It's a serious family matter that he's been dealing with. It says, although well-intentioned, Randolph's wording was misguided. Reeves is not dying. So let's stop writing our eulogies for the poor guy. He's not ill. Bo DeMaio came out and said he did not hold back. Now, Bo DeMaio, being in the industry, and listen, I don't know anything about Matt Reeves. I'll be honest with you. It's outside of my normal stuff I cover, right? I mean, I'll cover Batman, but this is a writer for a script that, we don't know when it's going to be there, and I have my doubts about the movie, period, and it doesn't rise to the level of interest. I mean, it just doesn't. It's not, I hate it for Batman, but this is not the kind of movie that people click on videos yet for whatsoever. So it's not even inside my purview. So Bo DeMaio may know something about the mental thing. I don't know if it's a family member. I don't want to know. It's not my business. Not your business. And the reason for that is, I'll give you an example. Rachel Zegler with Snow White made things everyone's business that should not have been our business. But she did it. Put her co-star at risk, right? That's what the allegations are. That's what's been said. I'm not making that allegation. That's the allegations that came out and were put all over the trades, that Gal Gadot had to have extra security and that they had to fly a producer out there to beg Zegler to take down what she said. You know, so this stuff about Gina Carano should not be my business, shouldn't be your business, right? Disney made it our business when they came out and said awful, terrible things about her instead of just saying, you know what, we're parting ways. If Disney had come out and said, we're parting ways, we could have been critical about that. We could have said, that's not appropriate. Gina didn't do anything wrong. And it would have stopped there. It's the escalation that made it be our business then. Because then they had to say these awful, terrible things about her and apparently, allegedly, leaked a message to the trades that was carried out. Then she had to bunker in her house from the paparazzi. Then she can't get jobs anywhere in Hollywood anymore. And there's some thinking that Disney had a part in making sure she couldn't get work. So, don't know if that's true or not. We'll see. It's what the lawsuit's about, right? What's going to trial. So there are times when we talk, lots of times when we talk about things that should not be our business, but were made our business by who we presume to be bad actors. People who do things that they should not do. Matt Reeves didn't do this. Matt Reeves didn't come out and say, you know, hey guys, I got a family issue. And God knows I don't know what the family issue is. And again, I don't want to know. It's not my business, not your business, nobody's business. Because you should protect people's families. And what Grace did not protect the family. Innocent people. And that's a shame. And it's a shame because when you have a situation like whatever it is she's talking about, it needs to be left up to the person to work through that and figure it out, because you're talking about people who never chose to be part of this industry. They never chose to be known. They never chose to be public. They didn't choose any of that. And so we protect people like that. We don't, you know, as a common courtesy. Now, here's what's bad about it. Grace may have made a mistake in just poorly wording it. The problem is that in radio, and I've done some radio work in the past, and in radio or in broadcast or in television, whenever you're live, right? And let's say like during the pro show, I can come out and I can say some things that I regret later on. And almost always, that has not been the case for me with the pro show. But, you know, we've not done thousands of shows yet. There will come a time when I will say something that I immediately regret and wish I could take back. I will stumble. I will fumble my words. That's just being human. And that's what happens in human relationships. Problem I have here is that Grace pre-recorded this and then released it. And I wish that Grace would have rethought that phrasing. But I'm inclined to go with Jordan Ruami when he says that Grace was well-intentioned, but it was poorly worded. That's what I'm inclined to go with, because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And I like to give people the benefit of the doubt because one day I'll need the benefit of the doubt. And because one day you'll need the benefit of the doubt. We all do, because we're human. And even the most virtuous, and I like real virtue, best intentioned people need grace, not that kind of grace. So in this situation, I'm going to extend grace. And I'm going to recommend you all do the same. And I'm going to recommend that with understanding that I hope that if she has not already clarified at the time of this release, that she will. And that this is a lesson to be learned by everybody. Maybe there's two lessons here. Lesson number one, don't out any kind of health issue, that someone does not want disclosed, because you don't know what pain you've just caused to other people. And you've taken away the opportunity for that person to disclose their health issue in the way they wish to disclose it to their loved one. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. Lesson one. And then lesson two is be very careful in the way that you word things when you're talking about someone who died. Like if you're going to make a comparison of someone's bad situation, almost never do that to somebody who died. Unless, if the person is in hospice, all right. But it's ugly. It's ugly. But Grace is human. And we make mistakes. So folks, you tell me in the comments down below, am I right? Am I wrong in wanting to extend grace to Grace? And tell me, is this an odd situation? Is it something you've ever faced before where somebody disclosed health concerns that should not have been disclosed to others? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. What a strange video. What a sad video. I'm so sorry that we had to cover a topic that's unpleasant like this, but I hope you walk away. The elevation is what I'm aiming for. There's something we can all take away from this one. We can all walk away and say, yeah, I'm going to learn that lesson through what Grace did, not in my own life. Because that's a painful lesson. And it's a painful lesson that the pain's not on you for making the mistake. It's on others. And that's never a fun place to be. Folks, that is the video for the day. We'll get back to the normal stuff, I promise. But boy, oh boy, this thing is exploding online. And I just felt like we got to talk about it. Also, I know the news is concerning today outside of the entertainment world. I'm watching it too. I wish the whole world well. I don't like the rare earth stuff out of China. I don't like this at all. I have my thoughts on it. But for now, I'll just say thoughts and prayers that peace will win out and that goodness is waiting for all of us at the end of the day. And that's where I'll leave it. But I am not naive to what's going on in the world. All right, folks. Like, share, subscribe, click it, stick it to the algorithms. It is the notification bell. Drop a comment down below. Let us know your thoughts. And until the next time, we go on another journey of morality. What a video. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Floral, it's time for you to walk the plank.
What? Why?
Because you haven't subscribed to WDW Pro yet. Nor bookmark thatparkplace.com on your web browser to get great articles from great contributors.
What?